Great afternoon, great morning, great evening, depending on when you watch this video. Question, have you ever felt overwhelmed? Have you ever felt like it was too much? Like it was just no way in the world to get all of this done? Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. If that's you ever in your life, this video, this blurb is for you today. This is Dr. LaDre Weathersby with the Better Life Institute, coming to you with the blurb for the week of February the 20th. I know today's February 21st. I'm a day behind. I'm catching up. And that's the reason I really can speak to this topic of being overwhelmed. I talked before about the law of the pileup, but being overwhelmed is something a little different than that. Sometimes the law of the pileup refers to things that come at you, but you really don't have any say-so about those. That's totally different from what I'm talking about today. Today's topic, I'm going to give you 3 tips to deal with overwhelm. 3 tips to deal with overwhelm. I define overwhelm as the emotional feeling that you have from the things that you have agreed to. I know you don't like that one. Overwhelm is the emotional feeling you have based upon the things you've agreed to. See, the law of the pileup says these things have come to you, and you couldn't really shake them all, do anything about most of them. But overwhelm comes from the stuff that you are doing, from the stuff that you are putting in motion, sometimes in response to life, and sometimes just because that's what we do. So, first tip number 1, stop to see where overwhelm is coming from. I know you have 6, 7, 8, 20, 40 things going on right now in your life. I know. But if you take a moment and really look at what's going on, you'll find that it's really 1, maybe 2 things that are the cause or the root, or they carry the most weight that makes you feel overwhelmed. So, I'll talk about my personal life. I'm in the midst of selling my house and looking for another one. I have never sold a house before. I bought one before, but that was over 10 years ago. The market was totally different. But that's in the midst of everything else going on in my world. I've got my Better Life business. I've got my legal shield agency I'm growing. This last part of the dissertation is driving me bonkers. My relationship life is not where I want it to be, so I'm working on that. But I'm still learning how to be more social. I'm an administrator for the state of Georgia for the legal shield group here. So, I mean, it's so much going on in my world that I've signed up for. I've signed up for it all. And I found myself the other day literally praying, saying I will not collapse upon the weight of everything that's going on in my life. Why? Because I signed up for it. So, figure out where it's coming from. Step 1. Step 2. Get back to your daily plan of action or your regular routine or your schedule. Now, that implies that you have one. If you don't have one, I strongly encourage you to begin to put one together. I know it's never going to be perfect. I know it's never going to work out the exact way you planned it. I know. But you have to have a basis and a boundary to work from. See, puzzles as a kid taught me a whole lot. The biggest thing it taught me was you can't do the task without having a boundary or an outline for it. The first thing you do when you do a puzzle is you put the boundary together, the border. Well, the same thing should go for our life. The first thing we should do is put together boundaries. I know I've got 5 things to work on today. So I'm going to work on this from 9 to 11, from 11 to 12, from this 12 to 2. I'm going to take a break. This 2:30 to 4. Give yourself some boundaries. That's one of the reasons we feel so overwhelmed, because we're just dealing with things as they come up instead of taking control and telling those things when we're going to deal with them. So, step 1, stop long enough to see where it's coming from so you know what to address. Step 2, get back to your daily plan of action and the plan or the boundaries for your life on the daily functioning level. Last but not least, number 3, learn to say no. No. Please learn to say no. And I'm working on this too. No, I cannot come pick you up at 4 o'clock and you know I already drive for a living because I drive Uber. No, I'm not coming to pick you up at 4 o'clock. Why? Because I'm already working, and if I add that to my schedule today, it's going to make me what? Overwhelmed. Picking you up may help you, but it's going to hurt me. I've got to learn to say no. I know this is not easy. I know this is not easy. I would love to babysit your kids. But if I babysit your kids, that means I can't finish my work. And I've got a deadline for Friday, and today is Wednesday. No. You've got to learn to say no. And remind people when you say no, I'm not saying no because I don't want to help you. I'm saying no because if I help you, it's going to hurt me. If I say yes, I'm going to say no to me. If I say yes to this, it's going to throw me off my track, and I've got some deadlines to meet. Now, hopefully you're not always saying no just because you don't feel like doing something, because somebody is going to say yes to you and they don't feel like it. So somewhere along the line, we got to learn the balance to say yeah too. But still, you get my point. Hopefully this has been great. This is going to help you a lot. If you would like the other tips to go with dealing with overwhelm, simply send us an email at betterlifeconsultingcoaching@gmail.com, or put a note in the comments on the Facebook or the YouTube video. I would love to get you some information. Love to get you in our newsletter. It's coming because we send some tips out on a regular basis because we just want people to have a better life. Remember, life is good, but a better life is best. Thank you for your time. Blessings to you.